get it. And you know what they say about opinions, right?
I don't give a damn. They like,
don't you even start your stuff.
Girl, come on. I don't give a damn. I'm ready.
You always ready. You stay ready because you ain't got to get ready.
You already know. Because it's about what?
To each his own. Record.
See, what we not going to do is...
What we is going to do is fuck this shit.
What you're not going to do is start this shit pissing me off.
So, you know what? I don't even need my friend right now.
I told you that.
So what? Just
What was all these motions you just did?
We are on to bigger and better things.
This is your shush tactic. Stop.
No,
this is not golf.
No, this is go vaya con Dios.
You know damn well I can't say that slow.
Is you ready? Because I'm ready.
Yeah.
Take a sip, take a sip, you take a sip, I take a sip, we take a sip, sip.
You sip, I sip, we sip.
Sip. Yes.
You ain't complaining about my drink making today.
I'm not complaining about your drink making.
Not today, because any other day you were.
I'm finna get me some sugar.
Yo, it's so fucking funny that you said that, because I don't know why. Trick Daddy Sugar been on my fucking mind.
Sugar on my tongue. Yes.
Give me some right there on my tongue.
Oh,
she put it right there on my tongue. Yo, I don't know why that shit been in my fucking head all week. I was in the shower then like, she got that shit up. I don't know why. It's like every time I got in the shower this week, that shit really was in my head. It really was. And I'm like, yo, why is this song randomly in my head? Like this.
That was a bop back in the day.
Cause CeeLo was that nigga. That
was definitely a bop.
That's first of all, I was CeeLo before that. With CeeLo, he just became a more popular CeeLo than me. But yes. I'm going to allow the name share.
I can't believe I just agreed to that. I didn't know what you were about to say. Hold up. No, you did not.
Yes, I agree. Listen, I allowed the name share because those I don't know about his original initials, but they're mine legally. I'm just saying. And legally, those are C, Low Max. Legally, those are my initials. So can't nobody take that from me. Let's look him up. Let's see what his initials is.
You write these.
Because if it's not CeeLo, CeeLo's some made up shit that he didn't got from the music game, a little nickname or something that somebody gave him.
I can't even sit here and begin to tell you where he got that name from.
I'm about to pick right now. This nigga name is Thomas DeCarlo Calloway. First, where the hell he get CeeLo Green from?
DeCarlo.
First of all, that's backwards. It's supposed to be D-Car, not C-Lo.
I know, but Carlo.
Or D-Lo.
It's D-Carlo. Carlo. C-Lo. He's shortened it even more.
It's supposed to be D-Lo.
Sort of like how one of our friends has a nickname and we don't understand how she got that nickname because of
I get it. I get how he tried to, configure it.
Yeah.
But again, these are my natural.
Yeah.
I didn't have to take nothing out.
But I just think of it as people have nicknames that have absolutely nothing to do with their because somebody name could be Man, but his real name be Jamal or something like that.
Right, because I'm trying to figure out where did the green part come from.
I mean, just like Jamie Foxx. His name isn't Jamie Foxx.
I mean, all right.
I'm just saying. IJS means IJS.
All right, but whatever.
So yeah.
Speaking of first of all, speaking of making shit up.
Oh shit.
No, because I don't understand why. When in one element, society like, oh yeah, parents should be able to co-parent and get along, even if you guys aren't together, so on and so forth. But forever, for whatever reason, it's been this big conversation over the last week about baby mothers and baby fathers supporting, each other at birthday parties. It's been this big thing, and I recently just saw with Jada and Lil Baby. She was at his birthday bash. What's his name? Herbo was at Ari's birthday bash, and people would just been like, well, why was he there? Da, 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 da. What you mean? Now, any other time when we talking about child support, it's, everybody should get along. Why don't we all get along? We should be one happy family. It takes a village to raise a child. But why is it a problem that my child's father or my child's mother was to come support me to my birthday. I celebrated another year of life. I'm around another year of life to be here for our child.
Yeah, we made that decision together.
So why is it a problem? We get along, we co-parent well. So why is it a problem that we celebrate together? Y'all act like they celebrating privately on an island. She's just another invite to the party.
Right.
That just happened. Used to be in a relationship.
She's part of his life. Oh, they have a child together.
Exactly. Now, if this was an ex-girlfriend who didn't have a child with this man, I feel like most people wouldn't have a problem with that. But she should be here because she has a child with this man.
Right.
So why is it a problem?
No, that's healthy.
I feel like that's weird. Like that people are having this confrontational conversation around it.
That's weird to me because honestly, I think it's such a beautiful thing to get to that place where y'all can just coexist and celebrate milestones together. Why not? Ultimately, you guys are a family. It doesn't mean that just because they're no longer romantically involved doesn't mean that everybody can't get along and be adults.
Yep.
At the end of the day, me and my siblings are now adults across the board. We're all adults. There's 5 of us. My dad has 5 children. My mother only has 2. But we just threw my dad a birthday party last summer for his 60th birthday, and my mom came. My sister's mom came. My dad's, friend was there. Everybody was getting along because that's what adults do. It doesn't need to be any tension. And especially, we're all grown. What the hell do they have to be beefing for?
Right.
My dad hit a milestone. Why not? Like, let's all party. Let's celebrate. Like, my parents, get along generally.
Absolutely.
We've come a long way. Just like any other person's story, I grew up in a single parent household, but so what? Like, we're past that now. Like, we're all hitting different milestones. It's healthy to be able to do that together. Like, why are we still like, people just want so much division? And don't get me wrong, there are people, I do know people who do have good relationships with the parents of their child. It's not, anything negative going on. Mm-hmm. And they don't, attend things like that of that nature, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that they're not healthy. It's just what they choose to do. Mm-hmm. I don't see anything wrong with anything outside of that. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I agree.
Why not? She ain't all up on. She came here to have a good time, just like everybody the fuck else. You know what I mean? And celebrate.
Sure invited to all our family barbecues.
Exactly.
I was unfortunately, COVID shut it down, but I was in the process of planning a birthday party for my mom last year, and my dad was sure enough on the invite list. Mm-hmm. And he was gonna come, sip his drink, and do his 2-step in the corner. Mm-hmm. And that's on game.
Exactly.
So again, like Chuck said, it's healthy. I just don't understand why that's been a big of a deal. It was just really bothering me over the last few days to keep seeing that and to keep seeing it pop up as a conversation, to see so many people have an issue with it. Like, it really, really, really bothered me. So I think it's a big deal about it, and get that off my chest, because that's really weird to me. Like I said, if you was in child support court, it would be why can't we all get along and hold hands and be bringing around the fucking rosy
and candles and shit.
Yeah, but everybody is getting along. It's no problem. People want to turn up. Oh well, the baby's not around. It's not the baby's birthday party, or it's not nothing considered for the baby's not even concerning the child. Why is it that they're getting along, or why are they in the same vicinity? Like, fuck out of here, girl. I want to get down with my baby daddy. I'm gonna get down with my baby daddy,
and that's it. And I'm gonna cut the fucking rug up like a pair of distressed jeans.
My current partner and my child's father are cool, and my current partner and my child's mother, if they're cool, what's the issue?
Yes. Have a cigar, have a drink, do your little 2-step, and call it a night. Like, what's up with it? Why not? Toast.
Sorry.
Cheers.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's part of protecting your peace, because it's just like,
I felt like that.
If we don't have to be at odds and everybody can get along, let's do it. When you get what you put out, when you put out great energy, when you're positive, when you're forthcoming about things, when you're optimistic, I'm just throwing a whole bunch of different ingredients in there. I just think it leads to fostering better relationships with people. And it does protect your peace ultimately, because you're creating a healthy environment for people to be in. That's part of caring for your loved ones. When you don't stick out like a sore thumb, and you're not trying to always be Debbie Downer, and you have uplifting and positive things to say, and you're just always there to be, who you are and be true to who you are, and they respect you, and there's a mutual respect. Why the hell not? That's part of protecting your peace, people. And today, that is our first topic, protecting your peace. I really honestly think that, protecting your peace looks different for each person, each individual person. We put a thing up on the page the other day And I really wanted people to answer that, because I felt like, we could probably, help somebody with that. Like, what does protecting your peace look like for you? Is it, taking a trip? Is it, turning your phone off for an hour or two on a certain day? Is it taking a run? Is it, organizing your workspace? Is it brainstorming? Some people find peace in reading. Is it not having contact with certain people because you need to get certain shit done? Yes, it is. Even the people that you love, yes, it is. Is it shutting down conversations that do you no good? Yes, it is. Is it dropping dead weight? Dead weight meaning, is it, kind of, sort of, not, but,
Girl, you over here
cutting
preaching,
ties
girl. You
with
over here preaching
people.
on this good Sunday.
I'm sorry, I don't got my white collar on, but hey now.
Come on, Deaconess Chop.
Period.
Minister Chop.
Is it, parting ways with people who don't necessarily, they don't mean you any harm, but they don't bring you anything. There's no reciprocity in that relationship. Sometimes, everybody can't go with you. So, protecting your peace is like different things.
Sorry, that was
different things. Yes, not associating with certain people. Yeah, when you on a certain journey, sometimes you really gotta like separate yourself. You really do, and you gotta weed certain people out, and make everything work for your better good. So
I think you mentioned something
peace.
that was actually really good. It's a big thing that I do to protect my peace, and one of those things are, if I know that there's certain, like you said, conversations and certain topics, certain people in other people's lives, like my loved ones, that I can't rock with, certain situations and scenarios that I just can't withstand because it's going to take too much energy from me. And what I mean by your situation taking too much energy away from me is because I'm feeding into it, or I'm allowing you to let that burden off, whether it's telling me about it or processing it with me. I cannot afford to listen to that, and it's team too much. It's team too much. So for me, one of my ways of protecting my peace is just telling, when it comes to certain topics and situations, my friends, my loved ones, family members, I can't talk about that. You can't talk about that with me. You cannot, you can't discuss this person with me, or I don't prefer this person in your life. Don't bring this person, around me. I don't prefer to be around this person. You're with this person, it's no need to contact me because I'm not coming, stuff like that. So I just stay away from certain things and certain people to protect my peace, because I'm very self-aware. I know that my mood can change almost in an instant. No, I can't even say almost. My mood can change in an instant at times. And I do know that certain types of situations or certain people just kind of drain your energy, and it's just like, you just kind of put me in a bad space, like your aura just kind of brings me off. Yeah, and I just don't even want to be bothered. And a lot of the times with myself in life, I don't even mention that to people. Like, my aura just kind of goes off, and most of the time it just kind of falls right back on me, like, well, what's wrong with, Chrissy, da-da-da-da, and it's just like, I'd rather not deal with it, or I'm ready to go. All of a sudden, my mood has changed, and now I got a fucking attitude, like, depending on what age I was in. Because there's sometimes at earlier ages when I was younger, I did let once when my mood affected me to, like, completely affect me. Now it's like, I'm ready to fucking go, or I don't really feel like doing certain things, So for me now, as a 30-something year old woman, I just separate myself. I just let you know that I'd rather not. I'm going to be very transparent about that, and you can feel how you want to feel about it, but I'm going to let you know that for me, to protect my peace and my sanctity,
not sanctity,
this is what I'm going to need to do. And I would like you to respect that, because if I went to somebody, if somebody came to me, one of my loved ones came to me and said, you know what, Lo, I don't, really rather do this. I really not rock with you in this way. I don't really suggest being around these types of people. Okay. And we may have the conversation. I might actually go a little into a bit deeper as to why you feel that way. But ultimately, bottom line, I'm going to respect your decision. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to question it. Again, we can have a conversation about it just from my own inquiring mind, but I'm not going to question why you feel that way. I'm going to respect it. It is what it is. This is what you say you don't want. Straight like that. That's just what it is. I'm always going to respect that about somebody, no matter what it is. I can't always give you what you want, but when you tell me what you don't want, I have the right to, I have to respect it. You know what I mean?
You get a choice.
Yeah.
Have given the person that's a protective measure for you and another person.
Absolutely.
Also giving a person a choice whether or not they want to deal with that. So that's definitely a big thing. Definitely establishing boundaries is a big thing. We talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest things you need to do for yourself. You owe yourself that much.
Self-care is a part of protecting your peace as well.
Absolutely. Taking care of yourself, like making sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're eating well, make sure you're taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. And just making sure you're standing around people that uplift you, man. Like, not hanging out. You hang out with 4 bums, you'll be the 5th one.
And I also think it's important to have something or somewhere that is an automatic piece for you. Mm-hmm. Like when I used to work in residential with kids, we used to have something at staff called a safety plan. So a safety plan used to be like 3 little things on it that we used to have listed on the back of our ID card that if we went into like a situation of crisis or stress, we would be able to, that would be something tangible that we could do to be able to help de-escalate our stress level.
Absolutely.
And manage
our
crises.
Mm-hmm.
So to that point, I think it's always important to have a space, like I said, a space, a place, or a thing or something that it is that you do mm-hmm. that's automatically peaceful. Mm-hmm. You need to have a peaceful safety plan. Mm-hmm. And a life safety plan, period. Mm-hmm. So I think it should be always somewhere that you automatically know that you can go, or something that you automatically can resort to doing that can automatically bring you peace, that can de-escalate you, that can bring you back to that oneness and that serenity and all of those things.
And help get you centered.
Absolutely. So absolutely. I think for people in general, if you don't have something like that, if you don't have that place, or if you don't have that thing to do, or I mean, even if it's a person that automatically makes you feel comfortable, you know what I mean? Even if it's a person, that person that resort to, I mean, I guess most people would call it like their best friend or whatever like that, their confidant or whatever. But I think it needs to be somebody, again, that can be very tangible, and that person should know that that's how you're identifying them, mm-hmm. so that they could, be prepared to be there for you. If you don't have it, you get it, put it in place. What works for you? Everything doesn't work for everybody. So If it's a person, if it's a place, if it's something to do, if it's access somewhere to go, I feel like that's important for everybody to select a safety plan of life. Yeah. So that you can work on protecting your peace if that's not something that you're already actively doing. Because that's important for each and every one of us.
And I think that's, and honestly, and not just as fast forwarded, but honestly, that rolls right into normalizing therapeutic practices in the Black community. Honestly, mm-hmm. what she just said really speaks a lot to, think that is a therapeutic practice, that within itself. Mm-hmm. It gives you something tangible. It could be a place, anything. Like, if you would like to color, it could be sitting down in a park where you got a great view and just coloring something very soothing, laying in a hammock, reading a book, anything. I think that people hear the word therapy and it's so stigmatized. People shun away from it because they feel like they'll be, ostracized. Oh, she going to go see the lady again, or he going to go see that lady. See the lady. You know how y'all fucking get. Thanks to that one certain page that be going to fuck off on Instagram or all types of shit that makes me think that the internet was a mistake. Like, for real, seriously. Okay? So, I think that, we need to, people need to just, kind of welcome that. Also on a story, we posted something and we asked people to kind of like, if they were, open to it, and if they felt comfortable, because it was, of course it's anonymous, kind of to drop some positive insights about therapy and what their experience was. Unfortunately, we didn't get any responses, and that's okay. Maybe we'll get some responses in the future.
I think it's still some embarrassment behind therapy for a percentage of people. Yeah. Because of course, working in the field that I work in, I see so many people in therapy and welcome it with open arms. But also, even with the population that I work with, there is so many people that says, "Oh, I've done that before. I don't think it's going to work," and it's unfortunate, but a common statement that I hear in the population that we serve is that I've already been to therapy and I don't want to keep talking about what I've already been through.
Gotcha.
And I do think that one of the barriers with normalizing therapy is the fact that, people are either scared or want to make the choice not to address specific things that they've been through, and they feel like going to therapy will ultimately try to force that out of them.
Right.
So, and it's a choice. So because therapy is a choice, I do think personally that that's one of the barriers that we have for individuals going in general,
Yes.
and individuals going back to receive, that type of help if they're in a point of crisis or if they're in a point of need at this time currently, because they feel like it won't be any help. I don't want to keep talking about the same things. I don't want to keep talking about this trauma. I don't want to keep talking about that trauma. I don't want to keep being asked the same things. It's not going to help. And it's becoming like a common statement in the industry that we work in. So there's something definitely different that needs to be done.
I agree, and that's another thing. Yeah, I want to touch on, because I agree. I definitely agree, and I think a big part of that is because they're not finding the right match for them, and that's a big part of that, because we both know, being in this field, they've seen how many countless doctors, and it's just like I had to keep, have you read my file? Number one.
That is a big line.
Everyone's style, everyone's approach is different. Your needs are different as a consumer. And then,
And everybody doesn't believe in the same practices. And that's what you guys need to know about therapists and clinicians and psychiatrists and doctors. Although they all go to school and they have a level of education,
they're just advisors.
Everybody here, there's advisors. Yeah. Everybody doesn't believe. So one doctor may not use the same therapeutic practices as another.
Yes.
But another doctor may not even believe in some of the practices that one of those doctors uses. So it varies. It varies, and that's why the field is so versatile, and that's why it is important to do just as what you were saying.
Find that perfect match. And it's a process. It really is a process. Unfortunately, it really is a process. I don't know how much more people who are in that role could be better equipped. I do think that being able to identify what the person plays a big part in that, because you would understand, you would be able to better empathize with what they're feeling, and standing in that space, you would be able, one would hope that you would be able to, say, well, I've been there before, and this is what I needed when I was there. You know what I mean? And having that educational background and having that experience, not saying that you're going to go through everything that everybody who sits in front of you has been through, but if you, to some degree, have a similar background, so to speak, maybe. I'm not saying that a black person can't go see a white therapist and be totally successful, because that wouldn't be true. But I do feel like what we've been through, as far as how long we've been here and how a lot of that plays into why people are the way they are today. I do think that would be better. For me, I just think that maybe that's a big key to it. Maybe it is, because I feel like it reminds me of the school districts and how you have these fresh graduates from these schools where they probably lived in the middle of a cow patch somewhere. They ain't coming from
it's the
inner city, Cornfield Way and Sycamore Street. Like, we don't.
Not Cornfield.
One firehouse, 2 cops, 1 sheriff. Like, I don't. I'm just trying to say,
tiny town,
from the rural areas. So I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling. I don't know. But those are my thoughts. Those are my true thoughts about that. I'm like I said, I'm just here to share how I feel and what I've seen, and being as though the communities I've served, they have a lot of trauma. They have a lot of shit going on. And what I hear them saying, when what's available to them versus what the fuck is not.
And I think one of the biggest problems with our community and industry that we work within is, when we think about it, when we first got into this industry, we are veterans at this point.
Yes. It's cool.
Yes, it's been over a decade that we've been doing what we've been doing. And think about when we first got into this industry, while we were in school, think about the different case studies and different videotapes and different things that we watched. Think about how old they were when we learned them, right?
And what demographic they cater to at that time.
Right. And currently, right now, we're in 2021. They still using that same shit, the same trainings, most likely. They still using the same references, and it's not relative to and reflective into what's going on today. So I think part of that, I think real life, hands-on scenarios, so that you can actually see this is what happened. This is what the interventions were that didn't work, and this is what the interventions were that did work, and actually have those interviews, have those conversations with real life current consumers or consumers who are just coming out of recent treatment or whatever, consumers who are currently stable, and update those trainings, update those scenarios and case studies and files
based on new findings,
based on new findings, so that we can adjust
and better serve them.
And better serve them with and update our interventions for them.
Yes.
Because the problem is we're not listening to them. How are you serving somebody that you're not listening to?
And
if
it's
I
not
go
even that.
to McDonald's and I order a Big Mac with large fries and you're not listening to my order, you're just going to give me a fillet of fish and a chicken nugget when I get there. What the hell is the purpose of you servicing me or becoming there if you're not going to listen to what I tell you I need? Or what I tell you I want. What's the point?
You have a point. And we're not saying don't go to therapy, but we are just saying that we see. And
I'm sorry, I might stand a little bit angry behind it, and it is some frustration with just kind of knowing it's taken so long for the dynamic of the behavioral health, the human services industry to change, because it's the same thing. It's a revolving door over and over, and it's just like, when are the superiors going to really start listening? Like, how much damage has to happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many souls have to be lost, either figuratively or literally, for something to
come
be
up off
done?
that system. Let's make a new one. We got to come up off.
You know
this
what I
one.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, and y'all so scared to bring in the frontline workers. Like, it was interesting because I had a conversation with someone in the professional industry recently, and they were talking about, I think like their company was doing like a survey or something like that, like asking about like how they felt about something with the company. I'm like, well, are you want to do it? And they was like, I think so, because I feel like this might be my only chance to be able to actually really express how I feel. And I'm like, well, shit, if I was you, I'd do it too. Because let them ask me about a survey, even if it's not directly, even if it is like a company-wide type thing. Oh, I'm giving it all to you. Because I feel like when it's something that I know affects me, whether it's indirectly or directly, if it affects a family member, a loved one, somebody that I work with, like indirectly or directly, I got something to say about it.
And I'm privy to it, exactly.
Especially if it's something that I've been speaking about that needs change for so long. When you get the opportunity to get the mic, why you not gonna say nothing?
Absolutely.
You all don't bitch up now. It's just like those coworkers who are always complaining and bitching about, oh, well, we shouldn't do this, or why don't we do this, or why don't we do this? You don't put nothing in the anonymous suggestion box at work. You don't raise your hand at the staff meetings to ask no questions. You don't ask your supervisor nothing when you're in your individual supervision.
And you don't have a resolution-based approach. If
right.
you want to knock something out the box, you got to throw something back in there.
Exactly. You gonna always complain about something and say, well, why? You need to be bringing this what?
I hate this girl. She go like,
you started it, yo. That's like the third time you did that today. You're not going to keep starting this shit and then keep blaming it on me.
Yes,
to hell with that. But that was definitely like a sweet way to come about this passionate conversation we were talking about in therapeutic practices, specifically in the Black community. And it's not only an issue in the Black community. This issue that I'm referencing specifically when it comes to the behavioral health field as a whole. But when we're talking about Black people being able to normalize it and be comfortable with it, that's what we want you guys to do. There's nothing wrong with it. Therapy is just like college is not for everybody. I don't believe therapy is for everybody either.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I might have an unpopular opinion when I say that, but everybody's solution is not, oh, go to a therapist, oh, go take medication. Everything does not work for each and every individual. So although we are encouraging to normalize the practices for those who need it, we want to encourage normalizing using all types of resources and life skills and using your whole village of support to be able to
from a holistic approach.
Exactly, from a holistic approach to be able
but
to.
But just to add, a little cherry on top of that, they still can be healthy and, it can be a positive way for you to teach children how to be.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give it from a, we're not pushing it on
people,
on the people.
Or neither, or stripping it away from them.
Right. We're not doing either of the two. We're advocating for those who need it as well as not pushing it on those who absolutely don't. So we just want to be very, very clear about that because we don't want to have to Bill Cosby move out there.
Girl, on that ass. All right, because you listen. Because if I turn the fuck around in here, all right. Listen, okay.
Oh my God. Goku. No, not cool with that, Goku. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not the Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Not the Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. We just had like 3 insiders back to back. I'm so sorry, yo.
Yeah, go.
Yo, shout out to our AIP family, yo.
If anybody can tell us what the fuck movie that is from, I swear to God, you would probably be my friend for life, and I would probably send you my fucking number. Because if anybody knows what villain and what movie said,
You get on my fucking
That's exactly how he said it.
Yeah.
I'ma just give you a one hint. It was a cartoon.
It
was a cartoon movie, so if y'all can tell us what movie that shit came from, oh my God, I swear you're probably my friend for life, because you're probably...
She nice to me, because I wouldn't even told y'all that.
But you know what, because that's a hard one. I feel like that's probably a hard one for people. So I'll give them that it's a cartoon,
bitch,
but that
I
shit
guess.
is funny.
I guess.
Well, bitch, of course you gonna guess it, because you the big. You gonna guess it, because you the big.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, why you always making something out of that?
Mountains, molehill into a mountain. Sorry, I did it the opposite way by accident.
Yes.
Molehill into a mountain type time. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What you talking about? I'm just making sure.
Anywho, let's slide. Slide
to the third topic.
Oh, but anyway, let's settle on. And we're talking about making something out of nothing. The foundation. I feel like the very first thing when I think about that topic is the hustle.
Yes, ma'am. The grind behind the prayer.
I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler.
The grind behind the prayer is so essential. Like we said before, this generation is so obsessed with instant gratification. It is sickening.
Oh, jeez.
I abhor it, and I rebuke it. Know that you will have to set out into this world with your 2 feet planted and rumble, young man, rumble for whatever you want.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
For whatever you want. So, we need to get out of that habit. And something interesting that popped in my head when we, talking about this. I saw a meme floating around and it says, my kids, I'm doing everything right now. I'm grinding hard as shit right now because my kids ain't gonna have to get it out the mud. They gonna go outside and get it out the garden. And I really fucked with it.
I saw that.
I thought that, let's get it. Like, that's the type of time that I would be on if I was a parent right now.
Now, I totally, while on one hand, I totally agree with that. On the other hand, I totally appreciated the things I struggled though with too when I look back now as an adult.
Yeah, but if you don't have to.
If you don't have to, yes, but I do think that there's certain principle that comes from working, not necessarily struggling, but having to work to obtain things and not just having those things given to you. Like, it's a difference between having a rich family and they gave you everything your whole life. You didn't have to ask for it. You were just, all you knew was lavish lifestyle. You were fed with a silver spoon in your mouth. Then the difference between versus coming from a wealthy family, but they made you work for it. Like they made you
like how
learn how
Mr.
to
P
work
does
the
with
books.
his
Yeah,
kids.
you had to learn how to work the books of the family business, and you started working in the family business.
And honestly, and that's where I'm coming from with it.
Positions.
Yeah.
But I do think that
I wanted to make that
exactly. But I wanted to make that clarification simply because I do think that a lot of the times that meme that we're saying can be taken differently. It can be taken one of those ways or the other. It can be taken. Some parents might look at that and say, and inspire to go, yeah, I want to look at that. I want to grind, and I want to make sure my kids can just get it out the garden, so they don't ever have to want for anything. So they can just give it to them, and they won't even have the mindset to want to teach them the principles and make them work for something.
But you want to know what? Then that takes me to another level of thinking, and then it opens my brain even more because then I go further because then I'm thinking, okay, the garden. Let's talk about the garden. So what's in the garden? What exactly is in the garden? When I think of the garden, I think of not handing you the money, so to speak. Investing. These are investments. So you're coming to the garden to get vegetables. Vegetables do what? Fuel your body, so you got energy. So you gotta do some work in order to eat it. Exactly. Teach them how to plant. They tilling, they turning.
I like that. So, come on, analogy. I like this.
So you're going to, and these are resources. So I might not even be able to necessarily like you might want to go off and I don't know the first thing about making lip gloss. I'm solely in whatever businesses I'm in. I'm solely in whatever investments I got. But I've got this garden, and in this garden, besides what I got going on, I've got these other relationships, and I've networked with people to whereas I got these connections where I can put you on to certain people who will take you under their wing and show you the ropes. And my thinking as a parent, it's not gonna be, oh, you got a cubicle and a desk tomorrow. No, come on up in here, like you said, in this office. Work for me, because at the end of the day, you rich, you got, so you don't have to worry about that. But you gonna spend some hours in here putting that work and grind and sitting in these rooms, listening to, the greats go over, hashing shit out and getting everything ready for the next big thing, and throwing out ideas. You want to be part of the creative process. You want to pull, those great qualities out of them. So
come on, Bishop.
When I think, come on with this collar that I can't pop. So, when I think of these things, when I think of the garden, that will, as for me and my household, that would be my garden. My garden would not be shoving the gold or silver plated spoon in your mouth every time you turn around. Oh, you want this? I'm gonna just give it to you. No, we gonna work for this because yes, I think of it. I want to be to the point where we can do anything. We have it. It's 10. We can do it, but you're gonna work to get there. I'm not just gonna hand anything to you because guess what? What we have, I had to work for. So you have to share that experience. Yeah, you gotta share. It's here for you, but you gotta, you gotta experience life for yourself, and and be stretched in different ways as a person, and and be put to the test. I honestly think that maybe if people didn't have to struggle so much, we would have better outcomes. That's the reason why it does bring out the beautiful side. But look at how many people are suffering because of it. That's where my brain goes when I think of the garden. I'm done. I'm sorry, y'all. My brain just be. I'm sorry.
Everybody bow your heads to the benediction.
Look here, this. Look here. I'm done.
Father God, we come to you now.
Yes.
And we want to say thank you for the good word that Minister Shock has bring forth to us in the T-Ho tribe today. Won't he do it? Will he won't? Thank you. Woo! Come on, Sister Agnes, Sister Mary Clara.
Yes.
Sister Sunshot Claire.
This girl has taken me.
If you want to be somebody and you want to go somewhere,
well,
you gotta wake up and pay attention.
Hold on. I knew I should have brought out my Chinese fan for this episode. I knew I should have brought out my Chinese fan. Oh, I said it.
The wooden one?
Yes.
You still got yours, bitch. I got mine.
Pick it up slow. Did y'all catch that?
Pop,
did y'all catch that? Did y'all? No, she over here, Virginia, pop, popping on the end of her seat, getting on my nerves.
Child, we went from the word to the curb, bitch.
From the word to the girl, from the sanctuary to the street. Vex that thing up.
I'm so sick of you. Oh, you were down and you pissed me off with this vex that thing up.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm sorry, yo.
Bless my Megan Jesus. Oh, Lord. I know my mom just be holding on to her little pearls.
Oh, my mom be clutching her collar, clutching her collar.
If it wasn't for her poor ass,
as a man upstairs.
girl, okay, period. Like, we needed them.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Y'all fucking me up. Give me a minute. I'm gonna give me a sap after that.
She baptized.
I'm so sap after that. I'm so sick of myself. Cause it's your fault. Jesus. God, we sorry, Sonny. God bless.
We mean it.
That was our praise from the day. There's a praise on the inside.
Oh, come on.
That I can't keep to myself.
Share it with the people.
That was our Sunday holy day. Our holy moment. That was our praise and worship of the set. So, speaking of moms that's embarrassed, because we didn't embarrass the fuck out of them today.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry. And yes, I go from singing to praise.
The Blasphemous Segue.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's going to be the name of this episode.
The Blasphemous Segue.
Hold on. Alright, on a serious note, Lord, we sorry. We're just going to take the time right now to ask you not to strike us down in Jesus' name.
Don't do
Jesus,
it.
step into and advocate for us, please.
And step into the light, Caroline.
Amen. The Lord knows my heart. He know I'm sorry.
Yes.
He know I'm sorry. He know we could have. They say that you are a reflection of God. God, I know God got a sense of humor.
Your parents too. Hell yeah.
So
act like you got some sense.
Because my parents is the big, especially my mom. My mom made my dad. My dad a little bit more reserved, but my mom is she's a little loud. I know a little. My mom's loud. My mama's loud, as y'all can see, real loud too. Like, and if y'all can probably notice, like, we don't have mics directly in front of us, but there is one in the room, and y'all can hear us very clearly.
Yes, you can.
Because
like clear channel.
Loud. We're loud.
Yes.
Like clear channel, clear fruit, clear water, clear vision, everything. Yes.
I'm gonna keep my randomness to myself today. I'm so random. God, I hate it sometimes. Anyway, y'all, sorry.
They gonna be looking at this episode like, what the fuck with these bitches been there? I'm sorry, yo, it's the drinks.
I'm so sorry, yo. I'm only a geek. I really be snoring when I laugh to her. I'm so sorry.
She definitely snores when she laughs. But I know a lot of people who do that though.
Yes, I be
Is
trying.
that hereditary?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Like, how do you begin to snort?
I don't know. Just you be cracking up and then you just the air cut
when
off.
She was a young warthog.
When I was a young. I'm not even going to do it. We've been drawing for 5 minutes straight.
So, what movie was that from? Somebody listen. Now, we done gave y'all 2 movies. We gave y'all a couple lines tonight. We gave y'all more than one. Somebody gotta tell us what movie that was from.
Yeah, meet us in the comments. Meet us in the comments.
Meet us in the comments.
Whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, it don't matter. Meet us in the mofo comments.
Movie.
What movie that was from?
Comments were from when she was a young warthog.
And yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Get out. Get the fuck out.
Me every fucking time.
Let's talk about
who I am. EVE.
No, we were supposed to. No, we're not talking.
We
ain't talking about no Eve. That was not the segue. We was talking about a mother's love.
Alright, but I just felt that little even when you said let's talk about it. You said it hard like that. Let's talk about. When you said it, I don't think you even, you heard how you said it because it was a little, let's talk about. Like I heard the Philly accent.
I understand
all
West Philly.
in it.
I understand West Philly. I understand.
I know West Philly about it ain't the time.
Yes, because you just went on us.
But you did it. I was just trying to let the...
I'm sorry.
You know
I shut myself down. I told you, I've been on a roll today. She had to shut me down before I even press record. Child, we done stop. All right.
All right, Missy. Yo, you are funny as shit.
Alex, don't you zoom in on her ass. A mother's love. We finna talk about a mother's love. Shout out to the
caramel.
Yes, we are so happy today. I think it's not even a liquor. We're just happy today. We are truly motherfucking happy.
Long if you feel like a room without a roof.
Speaking of happy, my mom is probably one of the most happiest human beings I know. She just be skipping, swinging, and snapping her fingers.
I don't think my mom is as happy as yours, but she be nice to people like she's happy as yours.
But when we be telling them that they
and I was there, she be fucking crying. Mom, you don't even fucking like them.
Yeah. How you gonna
because I know my mom. Now, I'm not even gonna lie now. When it speaks to a mother's love, this is how strong a mother's love is for me. Yes. Now, you know how as women, well, people can be petty in general, like, oh, my girlfriend don't like you, my girlfriend don't like you, I don't like you. I'm not like that in general, but when it comes to my mammy,
girl,
my mom doesn't like you.
If you buck over that one.
Like, if my mom doesn't like you, I automatically don't like you. But I'm like that with both my parents. Like, my parents don't like you. Like, my mom or my dad doesn't like you, I automatically don't like you.
You can't say two words to me.
I don't care if I've never met you, like, or if we was, like, cool before. Like, if I find out that my mom or dad don't like you, or if I find out that you was talking shit about my parents, or, like, that you really don't like them, like, I automatically don't like you, and I want to fight.
Snip, snip, bitch.
Cut you off.
Because my mom is too damn, she ain't perfect, but she is too
loving
and too nice.
3 months, bitch.
Yes, period. A mother's love is so important. I think that women, you know, some women lack that, and you can tell in other ways. And I think that how your mother, I think that how your mother loved you throws a lot into how you deal with other women and how you treat them, and what kind of relationships you have with them. Yes,
girl,
it does.
Child, you woke up this morning with a word on your heart.
And not just for the bad shit, the good shit too. It's equal. It's the same. I think, a mother's love is so, like, oh my goodness. Like, you really need it. As a woman, you need it. I don't know why we even got started with this topic. I don't know what led us to talk about this. I just think that some girls really lack that. And you can tell, like,
child, I know Tyler Perry wrote a song in one of his plays that says, sometimes I feel, he ain't write it, he had to rehearse these, put it inserted into one of his plays. The song said, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. And I think the words of the song are very pertinent, because whether you're a male or a female, a mother's love is very important. Just like how we talk about a father's love is very important to male figures and daddy's girls and things like that. Mom is important, and a specific line in the song says, sometimes I feel like a motherless child a long way from home. So just imagine, and we were just talking about a few moments ago with the field that we work in. I was talking about working in the foster care and the residential care system. Imagine being a child who was disconnected from their mother for one reason or another, and you were a long way from home, from what you knew as home. So just imagine putting yourself in those shoes, just listening to the words. When you think about it, it's just like, damn. Like, what if I was a young child, or even if I was a teenager, and I was forced?
How would I feel?
Yeah, how would I feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn. When you think about no matter how many times you were, quote unquote, mad at your parents because they didn't let you do what it was that you wanted, or you got in trouble, or you got on punishment, you got grounded, or whatever it was, after all of that, imagining yourself a long way from home, you still would rather pick one over the other.
Yeah.
So that tells you a whole lot.
Yeah, it does.
Like, and it's unfortunate that naturally and stereotypically, no matter what race, ethnicity, or whatever it is that you are, that we're kind of accustomed or used to, for one reason or another, the father being removed, but we're not as accustomed to the mother being removed. So the mother, if and when the mother is removed from a child, it's so dramatic and it's so vivid, and it's so much of a big piece that's missing, because that's not, quote unquote, normal.
Yeah, and I just think it speaks to the bond that's created when you're growing and carrying a human inside of you for 10 months, not 9, 10. 10, okay? Let's be real, okay? That's a long, you might as well say you pregnant for a year. And then on top of that, after you have a baby, it takes your body a year to heal. So it's a lot that you go through. When you have a child, ultimately, it's an ultimate sacrifice. Your body, your health, everything. So for a mother, that attachment is a big deal for a child. From the time that you are conceived, when you develop ears and you can hear in your mother's womb and you know her voice and you know what her heartbeat sounds like from the inside, and you know your father's voice because he talks to her through her belly every night, and you know different music, different melodies calm your spirit because while she was pregnant with you, she put headphones to her belly or listened to certain music while you were in there so you could hear it. Those things really play, like those are things that put imprints on you before you even get here. You get your sex from your dad, right? You get your bloodline from your dad, but you get your fingerprints from your mother. They both play different roles in your life. And this is not taking away from a dad, but while we're here, I just want to talk about, I really did just want to talk about like how that is so important to a boy and a girl. Like it's different. A mother's love plays a different role for both boys and girls, and independently for what every person needs. I hear a lot of parents say that, oh, I didn't have to do that with this child because she did this and this and this and this. But that one over there, I had to do this and this and this and this and that one. And sometimes, I feel like a part of growing pains is when you're growing up and you're realizing that your parents do different things for yourself. Oh, she's spoiled or this or that. When ultimately that's just really what she needed because she was lacking. They were trying to build her up or him up in the places where he just needed that. Some kids they just need that extra push, or they need that extra, that extra attention. They need to hone in on, and cultivate that and nourish it. Being a parent is an everyday job. Like you never stop being a parent. You never do. It's like from the time that you decide to bring that soul to this earth, it's just like until the day you leave here.
And that's why I can't do it.
Yeah, it's such a big
selfish
deal.
Enough to know that that's
such
a lot.
Big deal. It's such
that's
a big deal.
And I love my parents so much, and I love them enough to say, you know what, because of how much you guys love me, I can't afford to give this love to anybody else. I'm selfish enough to know I can't give this much love to anybody else because it's a lot. It's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of time, and it's a lot to do.
And it's a crazy world too.
Right, it's a lot, and I would. Girl.
And it's crazy because Auntie Mary says she don't want them to have kids because she don't want them to feel no pain. And I see what she means by that. That's a very deep statement. It's a very deep statement. Y'all don't know who we're referring to. Y'all tribe members don't act like y'all know Mary J. Blige. Mary J. No disrespect.
Blige.
All
act
respect.
Like y'all know.
Salute. That's my aunt.
Okay. Aunt Mary, okay?
Period.
That was a deep thing.
That was a deep thing. It was really deep when I heard her say that, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
But then, you know so many things about her life from her music and all her journey and things like that. It's just like, well, damn, there's one.
Did you see her My Life documentary?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Interesting. Like I said, it was information that we knew. But the way that they compiled it, it was art. It was a good way. It was a good thing to say. It was a good story. It was a good moment. Yeah. It needed to be put on wax because she is the queen and she deserves her flowers. Absolutely. And my little heart sank to smile. I was like, dang, I know all of this. And I'm just like,
it's still just like that's my aunt up there.
Yeah.
That's my motherfucking aunt. You can't tell me nothing.
My life.
Listen.
And the sunshine.
Okay.
Everybody
she brought that, the way she flipped that sample was unbelievable. It's her sound on the wax for me.
It is, and that's why you
can hear it. It cut through like a knife.
She still vindictive or acting like that, my first instinct, I've never thought, I can honestly say that I've never thought that, damn, I feel bad for that person.
Like, it's like that's sad as shit.
I thought was, that's sad, and they need to get it the fuck together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, because at some point, you gotta own your shit.
Right. But, I'm like, it's no excuse to not own your shit on no level. I don't care what anybody says. I don't agree with that. So I'm just not here for the extra bullshit. Like, I'm not here for excuses. I'm just not. And that's why I am the way that I am. Like, I am that I am, and it is what it is.
Preach says.
So, I mean... And I have a mother's love. Okay?
Yeah, my mother loves me.
And
her love for me is so tremendous.
And I have Jesus, the love of Jesus loves me.
Yes.
And that will be our thing, I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, yes, he does.
My mama got a big love for her baby. She
like,
really
I am my mother's best friend. I am both my parents' oldest child and only daughter. So, I have the love of my mother, but it's just a lot of shit that I'm not willing to tolerate. And I think it's kind of a catch-22. Because we definitely are, because you're the oldest, but you're the oldest out of four girls. I'm the oldest and I'm the only girl, and I think for me...
4 girls and 1 boy.
Right. And I think specifically for me, with being, and we talked about this before, being a parentified child and things of that nature, I think for me it's a little bit of a catch-22 with the mother's love, because she had to be hard on me with certain things, or had to implement certain things early because I was the oldest, because I'm a girl, because the parents raised males and females differently. So with all that added into it, there were times I was just like, Mom, I wanted to say I fucking hate you, but I knew that was like too cruel to say, and even with saying it to myself. But when I look back now, of course, as an adult, I understand why she did some of the things that she absolutely did. But that was the catch-22 with me, with my mother's love. As a child, I'm not in that same headspace, of course, that I'm in right now. So I'm like, why? A lot of the questions that I had to what she's doing or why she's doing this is why. Like, why do I have to go through all this? Why are you telling me this? Why this? Why that? But the other piece of it is, I understood from certain aspects why she did what she did. Some things were just about, and we talked about this before, survival. Some things were strictly about survival, and some things were because I was the only girl and I was the oldest. But like, as I expressed to her before, sometimes you just want to be a kid. With being the oldest child, sometimes we
it's a lot of pressure. I was just thinking about that earlier.
I was responsibilities that are put on us. And I actually did have this conversation with my mom when I told her, I said, sometimes you as parents don't think about the pressure that you put on your children. Kids. You have these, especially girls, because
especially when you decide to have more than one.
Right, and that's girls are, develop, mature faster than boys and things of that nature. So if I'm a girl, I'm the oldest, I'm parentified, it's certain things that I know how to do because you taught me and I learned them well. But on the other, in my head, I'm a child, so you have the expectation of me to be responsible and want to do it and to remember to do it when you said and when you wanted me to do it. But in my head, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I know better. But on the left side of my brain is saying I'm a child and I'm doing what children do as well. So I'm like, y'all have these expectations sometimes on children, not thinking about just coming from the adult perspective of it. Oh, you know what to do, you know better, so why didn't you do so? And y'all end up getting upset, and we get on punishment, we do whatever.
I saw a meme like that, and it was like, they just, when the kids are just like, get mad because you ain't take the ground beef out when they could have took it out before they went to work, so it would have been
right.
By the time you get
and I'm just like,
they just needed somebody to blame.
Right. And it's just like, I either forgot or I was doing something that I was being a fucking kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the piece about, and to be honest with you, that for me is one of the most scariest feelings about being a parent. I don't ever want my child to feel like
I'm making them grow up too fast or make choices and shit like that.
I don't want them to.
But you want to know what
child can resent you for something like that.
They can, but you want to know what forces their hand, and what you have no control over is the world that they're born into.
Right.
That shit gonna force your hand when it comes to
being a parent
things. It's a choice.
Period.
But that shit, but after you make that choice, there's other choices that you have to make that are out of your control. It's just some cards that you're gonna be dealt.
I don't want to start going down the line. Which is why, for me personally, I have, I've said it once, I've said it before. I prefer not to have any children because once you do make the decision to have children, like Chop just said,
I think mother's shoes are big shoes.
Down the line, you ain't gonna have no control over, and you gonna have to make.
Yes.
And I don't want my child. I would never want a child of mine to have some of the thoughts that I had as a child. I can be
and you have no control over that. That's the scary part.
Exactly.
To say that.
But
but you're not. I don't think you're not the only person.
I don't feel like I'm the only person that felt like that. Most definitely. Yeah. But because I know I felt like that, I don't ever want to put somebody else in a position to feel like that. And again, working in the field that we work in, I work with young adults. I work with teenagers. That's my specialty. Teenagers. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to them about different scenarios and experiences that they went through, and I'm like, damn. You felt like that, and you couldn't tell your parent how you felt, but you felt comfortable telling me. I was the staff and the support that they felt comfortable telling certain things, but they didn't even tell their own parents.
But even when, but sometimes, and honestly, that speaks that can be a catch-22 because there are going to be things that your kids are going to feel comfortable telling other people because they're just not sure how you're going to receive it. Mm-hmm. You may say one thing to your child, but your reactions will read you a whole different way to them. Especially based on their temperament, especially based on the patterns that they see, because children love consistency. If you are consistent with blowing up in their faces about shit that they've done wrong, they will never fucking tell you anything. If you are, versus, being a listening ear and being
understanding. Say that again.
What? If you are consistent with blowing up in their face, they will never tell you shit. That's better.
I just wanted them to hear that absolutely clearly and I want you to be very vivid about that. And the flip side to that is if you overexpose them, they won't respect you as an authoritative figure.
Absolutely. There has to be some type of balance.
There has to be boundaries and balance.
Yeah, I am your parent. I was never my mom's friend.
So I just wanted that small piece. I'm sorry to interject, but I just wanted that piece to be clear because it spoke so loudly to me.
I share with her like you would share with a friend. And even still, you got to tread carefully.
Tread lightly.
Ain't nobody come see you. Oh, this is like, but yeah.
And y'all better know a movie there.
That's really all I had to say about A Mother's Love today.
Yeah.
For me.
I think that was good. Cheers.
That was good. Cheers.
I like that.
That was good. We had a lot to say.
I feel like we got a little deep. Mm-hmm. I can go deep.
We got a little deep knees to these naked knees.
Deep. Na 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 na. Oh, shit. I've been in my R&B band going there. That's my shit.
Deep. I've been bouncing back and forth between the ratchet, the drill, and the trap.
I've been
and the kind of slow songs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, But jumping right into our bosses of the week. Bow, 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 bow.
Can we start twerking on that part?
Bow, 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 bow.
Bounce, 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 bounce,
bounce, bounce. We gotta make our own beats and shit. So
sorry, we were coming through with some beats.
Our first boss of the week is at black_x_, also known as by the government Xavier.
By the government, no Sam. We here salute you and present you with Black X, aka Xavier. He is a photographer,
yes, he is.